Dad.
Where's the party?
Oh, well, I'm in a little trouble.
Is she pregnant?
Well, if she is, are you gonna leave the woman carrying your grandchild standing out in the cold?
I look pregnant?
Among the most common sexual sins, pregnancy and abortion, all ugly sins, but in and of themselves, they're pernicious evils.
Travis Wayne, good soul. How many of you remember the chocolate chip cookie dream I had last week? This morning, on 4/24/2025, 1 week before May 1st, the day after Trump's 100 days in office. Anybody see that video I did the other day? No? Well, this is what the video content's going to be about today. So first, the introduction to get rid of the unbelievers. In the dream this morning, which it was around 3:45 in the morning when I woke up, and I sleep on my left side, so this is intellectual part of the brain that was being triggered. It is the masculine government versus the creative, feminine, religious side. And if you've been following me about the ancient religion of the Egyptians, and the two eyes of Horus, for seer, and how both represent the difference. And it's not astrology, it is not some divine feminine crap. Purge yourself of the wisdom of the world, people. Do not allow the wisdom of the world to influence your decisions. And even to create your own. Oh my hell. Science, people. Science. Run the tests. Nevertheless, I was in a church cultural hall, Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Yes, from the Freemasons and their cultural halls. That's why we have them. Because Brigham Young patterned his temple and churches after Masonry. That's why he, not Joseph, Brigham, put in his temple endowment, the endowment ceremony of blood oath atonement, covenant paths, and underwear, but the thou shalt not leak our coup plot to overthrow the government in the latter days. Everybody misses that. They all know it. It's the law of consecration. What do you think it's talking about? It's talking about a coup. Mormons. Dear God, talk about your blonde behaviors. With the psychological attack in the 80s, because I'm a blonde. Yeah. Anyway, I am directed by a guy to reenact the veil portion in the temple. And there's a bunch of people lined up, and he wanted me paired up with a particular woman. And she was wearing a black t-shirt, no collar, and Levi's jeans. It's my kind of gal. Gal Gadot. Great angel. Angelica. And that was her name. And she was trying to talk with me about my Signs in the Heavens videos from my YouTube channel. She wanted to discuss them and ask questions and go over them with me. And but we had to separate from each other. And I told her to email me. Go ahead and email me your comments, questions. And we parted. So then, in the vision, I'm then taken to my mom's house. No dad, even though I'm on my left side. Mom. And she was in the kitchen baking cookies, chocolate chip cookies, as I would soon find out. I had gone into a back room where apparently my computer setup was, and the lights were out as my sisters and some other people were all gathered together in that little cramped room watching a Marvel comic movie. I'm not sure which one. It may have been Iron Man or something like that. I don't know. I wasn't watching it. And the screen never showed what it was, but that's the dream impression that I had, is that it was a Marvel movie of some kind. And so I was trying to get back into the desk where the computer was so I can check my email to see if she'd communicated with me, when the door rang, knocked, whatever. And so I went and opened the door, and a guy came in. He said, "Boy, have I got a surprise for you." And I'm like, "What the hell? What do you want? Leave me alone. Don't be teasing me." And then he says, I think he was the one who introduced Angelica to me. As there she was at the door, and the guy obviously is gone from the dream, whoever he was. and she was now, she had on a winter white coat, and there was some pink striping, not too defined. It was a white coat still, but there was some pink that my mind recognized. Pink is my attractive color, whereas for the majority of people, red is the attractive color. So cops pull over red cars more often than other vehicles. They're stereotyping. But nonetheless, red cars matter. And so I then helped her off with her coat and brought her into the kitchen and said, "Would you like a chocolate chip cookie?" That's how I knew about the chocolate chip cookies. So, yeah, fascinating. So, yes, we are 1 week away from May 1st, the Illuminati anniversary. This year, it's, I did the math the other day and I forgot. 2025, 1776. 249 years since its founding. And next year is going to be the 250th, as Trump is planning, or at least says he's planning. He's got a committee for it, I guess, already. Hey, big celebration next year. But I've always been wondering, wait a minute, the latter days are over with. The 7 years for the latter days are over with. We are in overtime. And so, yes, according to the parable of the 10 virgins, waiting for the wedding supper feast of the Lamb at the Zion temple. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. I know what my dreams mean. It's likewise, wedding feasts for the Jews have become traditionally symbolic of the latter days in that parable of the 10 virgins. That's why the Jewish author of Matthew put that parable in, is to specifically explain the latter days for us. In the article by a Jew concerning the coming of the Messiah, he talks about the Messiah restoring the sabbatical years and the Jubilee years. The sabbatical year is 7 years. That's for the latter days. It's going to be 7 years. The Jubilee years refers to the 50th year, in which the prisoners go free, similar to the Exodus. The scriptures tell us, as does the Book of Mormon and Joseph Smith specifically, that Mormons are going to be saved from the great and abominable church by their fellow Mormon, who is to be their Christ. And you would judge him by his fruits, not by his titles. But we have gone over with you 2 Nephi chapter 25. You're all doomed. You are waiting for Jesus, the false Messiah, and therefore you're going to be destroyed, so that you can give up your faith in Jesus coming. You are incapable of separating yourself from your religious abusers. And you need to be separated by force now. And so the day that shall burn as an oven apparently is going to be that separation of that. I'm hoping it's not the day that shall burn as an oven, because it's supposed to be this church gets attacked and destroyed first, then I save you guys in Zion, then the rest of the world dies in the day that shall burn as an oven. We'll see. The enemy is having some problems getting everything going. Right, Nelson? And so, yes, I'm kind of excited, a little giddy, like a schoolboy with his first crush. It's amazing how old I get, and I fall for it every time. And she's just a dream girl. I have seen her. I know her face now. And so, yes, if I see her, she will not have heard this video. She will not know it's her. And we're going to meet eye to eye, and I'm just going to break down and cry and want to give her a big old hug, and then she'll go, oh my God, who is this guy? Keep him away from me. I've known you ever since my dream of you. But I've had this before, not for a relationship, just where I've seen individuals in my dream. For example, I was in a home, and I was in the kitchen, and a woman comes in, and she's got short, like my short, cropped hair, and bleach blonde, and I could see her plain as day. I knew exactly what she looked like. And so later on, I don't know if it was that day or days later, I am watching the news on YouTube, CNN, and there she was. She's one of the anchor women doing reporting and is on various shows sometimes. Sometimes MSNBC also has had her on. But she was doing reporting for the news. And I went, that's her. Oh my God. My dream girl. And of course she's married. But nonetheless, this dream that I had, with the symbolisms involved, with the time that we're in right now, I'm very well aware of this, as we are 7 days away. I'm very well aware of the symbolism. So yes, I'm even very well aware of the Pope being 88 years of age when he died. My mom died on 12/21/21, the first day of spring. Yeah, so my mom is not alive. But my dream still uses her for symbolism purposes. And even when I'm on this side. No daddy. Alright, and so before we get into the scriptures on this, and going over your end of the world situation, you're all going to die because you didn't want to believe, waiting for Jesus. He's not going to show, but he'll burn you. Both metaphorically and literally. And so I have put out a video on my old TWG channel, which was intended originally to be my business channel, until YouTube Mormon employee, through the Strengthening Church Members Committee, through the leaders of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, ordered my channel be shut down. As YouTube is extremist in their punishments of people for doing video content. They don't show mercy. They don't allow 3 strikes, you're out. It's 1 strike for a false claim, and you're out. And you have to wait months before you're allowed to upload another video again. And so when they did that, I had the TWG channel, and so I just turned TWG into my regular channel, as the church also had shut down my website. I'm under full attack. It's just, nobody else sees it. I see it because it's affecting my life. And so it's extremely frustrating calling for help and nobody believes you. I can't even imagine people who are being abused by this church and they have no recourse. They cannot file any petition for redress of grievances, especially in the state of Utah, because the church is so domineering, so abusive. But I did a video this morning, since I did the video the other day about how I need to give you a warning before destruction comes, so that people are left with no excuses. And so I did a video this morning on my TWG channel to let people know that I'm on this channel. And YouTube allowed it, despite going to Gmail and finding out that, sure enough, while I was gone, the dumbass employee did his Biden attack on me for the Salt Lake Tribune video I did. Salt Lake Tribune betrays America and the world by siding with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And YouTube, the Mormon employee, complained that it was medical misinformation. The Salt Lake Tribune, LDS Church. Oh, medical misinformation? This is the kind of abuse that is spewed on me. They have to lie to falsely accuse me. They cannot be honest. They are incapable of being honest. They have to cheat, they have to lie, they have to deceive, they have to threaten, they have to abuse, they have to murder, commit crimes, because they are the enemy. And so yes, the Biden administration had threatened social media sites to ban medical misinformation, specifically about COVID. And so the Mormon employee decided he was going to use that just because he didn't like a video that I put out about the church being false. He was protecting this church with criminal cyber terrorism. And so, as you've been aware, whether because you don't see it happening to you, but I've been telling you, he's attacking me again this week. He's upset with the videos I've been putting out lately. That's why he attacks. And so, don't think that the wiping of the feet has been lifted. It's still on. But those individuals who are not guilty, who are therefore not offended, You don't need to worry about you. But I do need to caution you, they want collateral damage. And so the warning is still for you. Don't think you're safe just because you're following me. The destruction is going to be general. And so you can get caught up in the attacks that are coming. So be cautious about that. Make sure that you're protected and prepared as best you can. Do not get yourself into a situation where you might be on the front lines of an attack. Now, if it's nuclear, well, we're all doomed anyway. But nonetheless, if it's a civil war where Trump sends in the army into the streets of America as part of the Insurrection Act or martial law, or expanding his 1798 Alien Enemies Act, if he expands that to include regular American citizens, whatever, just be cautious. Be safe from what's coming. And so I did some snapshots of my stats on TWG, since it's likely to be the final time I'll see it. The Salt Lake video, by the way, it's in the files. It's in my sealed portion videos. So yeah, if we get Zion, according to the prophecies, people can have access to it then, if that's what you really want. But I did notice a person commenting on this channel who said that the missionaries want to set a baptismal date for him, and so he's got questions that he wants to ask me, and it was 2 weeks ago. And so I commented today. I don't know if he gave in. Oh, he didn't reply. Oh no, I guess I got to get baptized. Anyway, I'll go over the stats with you. So, I guess I don't need to scroll over. The last video I had done was Mormon of Latter-day Prophecy to Save Unbelieving Mormons. Joseph Smith, Succession Failure. And yeah, I took this before I uploaded the video. Okay, that's why. I did make sure it was on. So, Joseph Smith, Succession Failure, Dark Ages of Mormonism, LDS Church Inhumane Treatment as an Incentive to Be Better, LDS President Nelson to announce 2023 bicentennial year Nephi visits. They didn't do it. Did they? Did they? All LDS Church visions and revelations ceased with the death of Joseph Smith. LDS Church child sex crimes whistleblower manhunt. Mormon high school officers' sex crimes against female athlete. Dear God. And so going from top to bottom, I get the same view count for the most part. Technically, I was getting more views on this channel by not giving my name. What's up with that? Everybody knows the name Travis Wayne Goodsell. Stay away. He's an anti-Mormon, antichrist, apostate, car. And so 291 with 11 likes at 84.6%. 125, 157, 62, 107, 60, 84, 38. Hike. And then oh, that was 28 days. So lifetime. It's saying 329,000.4 views, and it's saying plus 627 subscribers, but I don't think that's the subscriber numbers, because that's awful low. That would have been a massive purge of subscribers otherwise. But anyway, I think I did the top videos. Yeah, here's the top videos. Top 10 videos. Number 1, breaking LDS news. Russell M. Nelson changes temple covenants again. 8,234 views. And then they all go downhill from there. List and order of all LDS Mormon Church Latter Days signs in heavens. My DNA LDS family tree includes Somalia. LDS Last Days Exodus has begun. Guess what year it was? Lost Scriptures found in Salt Lake Temple time capsule. LDS Church to abolish Book of Mormon for April 2021 General Conference. LDS Church President gives official statement on tithing. Oops. That was a dumb thing to do. Oaks, why weren't you counseling him against doing that? Putin bombs close to LDS Kiev Temple. Earthquake strikes Salt Lake, Utah Valley. 2021 April LDS General Conference pre-show. 2008. I really have had fun doing videos over these years. And so yeah, when I started I was somewhat successful. And then flatlined there in 2022 with a brief flatlining in the middle because of the abuse of YouTube. And so yeah, a lot more women came to TWG than this channel here. So yeah, they had before they forced me to say, no, my videos are not for underage kids. So yeah, there was some under 18 years olds who were sneaking in. But still counted as 0% for female and 0.1% for male. But obviously they're showing a little lump there for a female and several males. So it's got to be taken into consideration of the whole number. But yeah, the majority of them were the 35 to 44 years old males, which are too young to be in the Quorum of 70. Quorum of 70 with the Strengthening Church Members Committee were the third highest as the elderly are the ones who know and understand what I'm talking about specifically. And yeah, here's the guy, Juan Jill. On my video, LDS President Nelson's satanic pedophilia orgy, which I do not see a thumbnail picture. I had problems with a Mormon employee on that channel banning my thumbnail pictures. Bastard. And he doesn't notify me. This is porn, Travis. No, it's not, you dumbass. He would just delete them. He thought that was funny. Why do they keep mentioning the Holy Ghost? If you are still on YouTube, do you have time for some questions? I was asked by their members of the church to be baptized. So I hope he gets the message. I hope he's not baptized yet. And I've done the video here on this channel about the Holy Ghost. It's a Christianized thing. They lie to you. And then 2nd Esdras, LDS Mormon, Latter-day Lion and Eagle. I'm giving you the interpretation of it. And then the Master's Harvest thinks he knows better than me and tries to Esdras explain to me. So he got banned. You know, the guy that made his comment, where are they? I'm thinking about doing a Nelson recap video series playlist, something like that. Nope, that's not it. Where did you go? Where did you go? LDS Church. LDS Church. There we are. Oh, no, it was a different person. Okay. I was thinking it was this guy, but it was a different guy who I had banned from my channel because he was thinking he knew better and thinking he was justified in insulting me on my own channel. But nonetheless, he emailed me with a picture of AI Nelson shaking hands with AI Warren Jeffs with a little thing on it. So, I mean, yeah, it was cute and all, but I could tell it's AI and not legitimate photograph because Nelson's skin is too smooth to be an old man and his eyes are not right. Warren Jeffs, yeah, even though he too is polished, he still at least looks more like him, but you can see that it's not a real picture, that it's a fake. And he does the quote, "To think celestial is to keep sweet." I don't know what the hell that's supposed to mean. People just need to stay away. Stop being predators. Alright, so Trump Ice 2025 news. I was worried this was going to be the case. I told you to watch for it. I told you they better do it, and they didn't. Desiree Turner, on Friday, finally died of her injuries, which means prosecutors must add additional charges of murder. I've seen movie after TV show talking about this subject of filing charges against a person trying to murder somebody, and then the person then dies, and then boom, they add the extra charge of murder and they get them because they thought they were going to get away with their crime. And so, yeah, I've seen those shows where they go to trial to try them for the attempted murder and they get away with it, and then they laugh because they got away with it. You can't charge me again because that's double jeopardy. And then, oops, the person dies of their injuries. Gotcha. And so, in this situation, the people got convicted and sentenced for what they did to Desiree. And yet the prosecutors came out yesterday and says, we're not going to charge them for the murder. You bastards. You bleeping bastards. You need to send a strong message to them and to anybody else. This just allows crime to prevail in the streets of Salt Lake City. A new TV show. The Streets of Salt Lake City. If anybody remembers the old TV show, The Streets of San Francisco. It was being replayed during the summer times, so that I only knew a little bit about it. I think there's either other shows that I wanted to watch instead during the summer times, or it ended and they replaced it with another show during the summertime. I don't know. Regardless. So Trump yesterday is now offering $5,000 per new baby. So women, go out and get pregnant. And Fox News is all about the con on this. As women are reporting on this. In order to entice men to want to impregnate them. But there's some catches, obviously. First of all, Putin did the same stunt with the Ukraine war. See, Putin issued the draft and forced men to go and fight in Ukraine, and thus they died. And so if you've heard the news lately, Putin has been getting assistance with new soldiers from North Korea and from China to fight in Ukraine. And as Putin was losing in the beginning, as Ukraine was holding them back and retaking some land, Putin's soldier deaths were very high, as when Putin initially ordered the forced draft, there was a massive exodus of Russians. They just all left. They just got their stuff and walked, or if they had a vehicle, drove. They fled to the borders to leave the country. And so only those who wanted to protest stayed behind. And then Putin, of course, has been locking them up. He had locked up a Russian last week, I think, who has been protesting Putin. And so, yeah, he's still locking up his own people. He had an election, likewise, in which, of course, he obviously won. Everybody loves him. Why would they want to leave? Why wouldn't they want to die for him? And so he came out about a year after, so probably in 2023, declaring that women need to have babies for the kingdom. And so, yeah, he was encouraging women to do that. And it's different than China, who also encouraged women to have babies, because their law of only having one child, and if you have a daughter, it sucks to be you. And so as a result, you have a whole kingdom of illegals who are homeless, living in the dumps that China would then go and demolish to make sure that they were homeless. All because they were wanted by China for violating the law of one child only. And many Chinese were involved in murdering the female baby to try again to have a male baby. And so China was trying to crack down on those as well to prevent that. But now China is experiencing a potential problem in the coming future of a lack of people. Unbelievable. And so, yeah, people have calculated that if people stick to 2.5 kids, the population of the world will stay consistent. Everybody wants to deny sex ed. And so Trump is offering $5,000 for new moms for numerous reasons. But all of them for the wrong reasons. One, he's purged America. There have been lots of people deported, not just men, even though the news only covers the gang members with all the tattoos. But Trump has also overturned Roe v. Wade under Biden. And so sperm has more rights than a woman now. Sperm lives matter, you know. Because MAGA hates women. Women are only to be raped. If a guy wants to have a relationship with a woman as a Christian, fine. But they're free to have the wife do the pool boy as he records it, apparently. What kind of a Christian household are you running? My hell. You're supposed to love your wife, not let the pool boy love your wife. I don't know that scripture. Thou shalt let the pool boy love your wife. I'm not familiar with that. Is that a lost gospel that I'm not aware of? Dear God. And so they purposely set traps for women. The church put out a video of a woman who got raped, and so she's now being sent to family services psychology for drugging. For her sin of getting raped. Oh God. I told you, you didn't believe, and then they come out with the video saying, yep, Travis is right. Just, women need to be saved in this church, and unfortunately, they have to be murdered by the enemy in order to come out of their faith bubble Stockholm syndrome for their domestic abuser. the religious abuser. And so they don't want you to be a single mom. They are calling you a whore after being raped for being a single mom. And this is why they don't want you to have an abortion. Because sperm lives matter. Even though apparently they're unaware that when a man goes off, yeah, it's a lot. There's a mass execution of sperm that occurs with each explosion. The slaughter of the sperm. Talk about your genocide. But even the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, likewise, it's God's sperm. And they won't tell you when the spirit enters into the sperm. But this is why they don't want to allow abortions. Because of this denialism of science, of our own human bodies and how it works. This is the sex abuse of religion and of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This is sex abuse, guys. Paying to have sex with a woman in the temple is prostitution, coming from the Greek practice that started it. That's why it's called porn, prostitute, because of the Greek practice of women being prostituted in the temples. So when the Greeks took over the Jerusalem temple, yeah, it wasn't just destroying the altar and building a Greek altar in the Jerusalem temple and offering Greek sacrifices. It was also the prostituting of women. That Maccabean revolt is a significant historical event of taking back the Jerusalem temple. They were furious that the Greeks did that to their own temple. That was the abomination of desolation, and Christians turned that into the day that shall burn as an oven. And Jesus is going to burn you. And so, yeah, this is not $5,000 for women who go out and get pregnant and become a single mom. If you're a single mom, you will not qualify. You have to be in a marriage relationship, preferably Christian. So understand this. This also is anti-lesbian. Because Trump has taken away the rights of gays and lesbians to adopt a child. He's done away with it. That was the Obama-Biden thing. It's gone now. You can't do it anymore. And so you can't adopt a child because it's very clear you have to have a new baby. You can't adopt and then say you can get the $5,000. And so LGBTQIAPO+, no, you don't get this $5,000. You have to be a woman in a marriage relationship and get pregnant with a new baby in order to qualify. And so, yes, again, it's only for good Christian people. Even though he's not really saying that, because you don't have to be a Christian, you can be a regular citizen and get pregnant and still qualify. But this is trying to lure Christians into this false hope. It's a trap. And so a single mother, likewise, is also under attack under this second coming of Donald Jesus Trump, because he's shutting down federal programs and he's coming after those who are poor. And so those who are on SNAP, he's going to be cutting that off. Those who are on Social Security, he's going to cut that off. There's WIC for women. If you're poor, you need help, you're a woman, you've got a baby coming, you can get on WIC. So when I was downtown, the daughter of the mission president of my son was there, and she was part of one of the WIC offices. And so that also is in danger of getting defunded, and thus people getting fired from the job. Rita is in danger of getting fired. And she's close, but her hair is shorter. I think she got married to that guy. But anyway, I don't know. Did I tell you that she had dark hair, kind of long, full? Angel, miracle. See, I've been made aware of the literal fulfillment of the prophecies of the Jews. I didn't expect them to be literally fulfilled, and yet they've been literally fulfilled. It's kind of wild. And so, yeah, the angel standing in the sun for the marriage of the wedding supper feast of the Lamb at the Zion Temple. I'm very well aware. Angel. Very well aware. And so it's not the angel who was the redhead, the astrotheologist. Dear God. What a nightmare. When people just have a false belief system that they've adopted, you can't talk with them. They're not reasonable. They're not thinking straight. And they just keep pushing, forcing you to try to believe them, like a psychologist. It's real scary, because they just are in their own little fantasy world, denying reality that's going on around them. And for her, I can understand. She's gone through a divorce. She obviously claims he was the guy who was being abusive. He says she was being abusive. He said, she said. But still, that's when she embraced more fully her astrotheology as a Mormon. I just cringe, because nobody is accepting her. Nobody's accepting astrotheology. They all think she's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and she is. And that's so sad, is because she's unable to come to grips with reality, as she uses it as a defense mechanism for the failed marriage. And she just doesn't want to use science. She doesn't want to live in reality. So yeah, it makes me cry. But But anyway. And so, yeah, Trump is also purging America of single mothers, purging America of lesbians, forcing women to be in a marriage. And there is no hope for women in this kind of society. Because as teenagers, you could be among your own religion, and they say that you can't have sex until marriage. Sign this covenant path document that you will not have sex. Give out a For Strength of the Youth pamphlet. Don't have sex. You'll burn in hell. And obviously, there's just all sorts of sex abuses here in Utah. As, again, another day, another sex crime committed by a person in a position of trust yesterday. Charter school. It just exhausts my spirit that I just collapse into full-on despair that Mormons are so evil and wicked. Murder and rape on a daily news basis. It is heart-wrenching. This is the fruit of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. These are Mormons who are following the living prophets of Jesus, who are purposely vague and confusing to cause this among Mormons. So, 10 virgins marriage. It's a real simple thing, and I've gone over with you before in the final minutes of hours-long videos. So this is just following the pattern of practice. And like I said, the tradition for a Jewish marriage is all type and shadow, symbolic prophecy of the latter days, giving you the days and hours. It's specifically 7 days, similar to Passover, which is 7 days, similar to Tabernacles, 7 days. It's the Exodus. It's the latter days. And so yes, the latter day time period is 2017 to 2024, 7 years. 8 to count the year of, or the day of, because the Jewish calendar starts at 6 p.m. for the next day. And so 77, 88, 15. If anybody remembers me going over the dream with Irene on 9/11 last year, I'm still waiting and wondering if that's going to happen. Because it followed the same pattern of the previous 7, 7, 8, 8 dreams that I've been having since the church wrongfully had me disappeared and tried to erase me from history, to murder me. The Hinckley dream, 77, 88. The Monson dream, tent. Tabernacles, 7. 2 sets of 7. And I don't have, oh my hell, all my stuff has been moved. But the church is trying to claim that they are a direct succession from Joseph Smith. And so Nelson is number 17, which means Oaks is number 18. And so next year being 250, whereas this year is, and so the Jubilee year, that's what it's referring to. The Exodus year, when he is 50 years old. The Messiah is 50 years old. which means he was born in 1970, which means the star seen in the east coast of the United States of America was in 1970, right before his birth. The birth sign. And the total solar eclipse on the east coast of the United States of America on March 7th, 1970, was that sign, literally fulfilled. They knew the day and the hour. They told us the day and the hour. They knew his birthday, and they told us. But you need to know the learning of the Jews, of prophecy, of the days and hours, called Revelation. Otherwise, Christian interpretation, you don't see it. It's not there. It's all about Jesus. And so Mormons have missed the whole latter days. They have no interest in knowing the truth from the Book of Mormon, from Joseph Smith, from the Bible. They think they know it all. They're like that Esdras commenter. You know, talk to me if you want to learn more. Get the hell off my channel, you bleeping bleeper. Dear God. Seriously, I mean, YouTube drops the comments after 60 days. And so that's why I only saw 2 this morning, from 2 weeks ago and 11 days ago. But nonetheless, who knows how many people have been sending me nonsense comments. But yeah, I noticed that there were still people subscribing to me after all these years. So I probably should see what the actual claim of subscribers are, because I didn't get that. And so the actual wedding only takes, an hour. And you've probably seen the movies or the TV shows where the woman is put in a chair and then is lifted up and bounced up and down like a baby. Those are all symbolic, and then the smashing of the glass goblet wrapped up in the cloth. All of that are specific symbols for the latter days. Very interesting. I'm curious to know if the YouTube Mormon employee is taunting and mocking me, thinking that I'm offended with this, and that's not the case. You never knew me, did you? Let's see. Scroll down, TWG. Yeah. 3.9K subscribers. Or videos. Oh, right. Really? Only 627 subscribers. Interesting. Alright. Only 2 people have seen the video. Am I going to be able to... Because I guess, I don't know. Just leave it like that. See? I knew it was a cyber attack not allowing me to do screenshots. Yep. 3.9K. And so that's why when I see this channel go into a new number, I then tell you 8.6K. It's for that reason. So yeah, subscribers was only 671. Interesting. Not very many compared to this one, which is 1,500 something. People aren't watching. See, that one was 671. Yeah, I can see with the 200, 100. Okay, that's more acceptable. But to have 1,500 and only 5 views for a video, something's not right about that. So. But yeah, this is what we're waiting for, is that Revelation 19 for the wedding supper feast of the Lamb at the temple in Zion. So we'll read it and go over Doctrine and Covenants 58 too, I guess, to finish it off. And so hallelujah is in here in numerous places. Verse 1, hallelujah. 3, hallelujah. 4, hallelujah. Verse 5, they translated it, praise our God. That's hallelujah. 6 has hallelujah. And so yeah, multiple times. Let's count them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. Interesting. 5 hallelujahs. There might be more if I kept reading, but 5 in the first 6 verses. Just curious, because they didn't have chapters and verses originally. And so salvation, that's Shua in Hebrew, which is in the word for Jesus. Yav, Shua, Yav, salvation. For true and righteous are his judgments, for he hath judged the great whore, which did corrupt the earth with her fornication, and hath avenged the blood of his servants at her hand. And her smoke rose up forever and ever. Burning, altar, incense, prayers, all part of the symbolisms that Mormons who have been abused by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, calling for vengeance from the grave. The Church likewise will fall to the grave of hell. And also many waters, thunderings, God omnipotent reigneth. Okay, 7. Let us be glad and rejoice and give honor to him, for the marriage of the Lamb is come. It's using the sign in the heavens of his coming for the last day of darkness over the United States of America. The cross of Jesus. Don't turn it literal history. It is the sign of his coming, the final year. And so thus, now that the latter days are over with, we're now waiting for going to Zion. The final 4, as I've been calling it. The fall of the great and abominable church, the transfer of authority to the Mormon, who is the actual head of the church, section 107, verses 91 and 92, who was 50 years old in 2020 for the Exodus year, but Oaks got leaked by little sister Jessica that this year is it. the year after the final year of the latter days. So technically we're in the millennium. When the religious calendar New Year ended, that's it. Technically it was with the solar eclipse, was the last day of the year. But Oaks extended it. And so the Lamb is Aries. That's where Jupiter, from Revelation chapter 12, comes from. He is in Aries on verse 11 and 17. And I saw the heavens opened. You're being given a star date, a specific day and hour. A white horse, Pegasus, with Pisces on its back. And he that sat on him has the eyes of a flame of fire, sun. And they had a name written that no man knew but he himself. Amun, the Egyptian sun god at noonday. So the sun is on the back of the white horse in Pisces. And so verse 17, I saw an angel standing in the sun, the symbol of the Christ. This is his sign, the Jewish Christ. And so come and gather yourselves together unto the supper of the great God. That's section 133, the call out that I've been telling you. Wait for the call out. But the church must be destroyed first. And so down in 20, after talking about how both Trump and Nelson are going to make war against us, which is interesting, saying it's against Nelson. That would make sense in the context of all the other prophecies. Interesting. So maybe going national that Cox got the one Mormon at BYU protected from the visa revokings and not the other Utahns. And going national, nobody else is getting their visas restored. Interesting. Or others who are being told to leave. Cox didn't stand up for you guys either. Pay attention to this. This was devastating, the video I did yesterday, which I got cyber attacked as I was shutting down my video and doing a journal vlog. As I was going over the 100 days, I was doing the math on that and went, oh, April 30th. Oh, isn't that interesting? May 1st. Yeah. See, I get inspired, guys. There's a reason. And so, the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet. Trump and Nelson. Pretty obvious. It's already happened. It's been fulfilled. We're in it. It's now. The identities are known. You can't come up with your own identities now. Oh, the beast is Osama bin Laden, and the false prophet is Obama. You kind of need to take this literally. Prophet? Yeah, Christians don't have prophets. The Pope is not a prophet. He's a bishop. That's it. And he's dead on Easter Monday, which is weird. But anyway. And so you're being distracted right now with conclave. A week before the destruction. Saturday will be his funeral service. Just in time before the rest of the world likewise dies and is buried in ash. These both were cast alive into the lake of fire burning with brimstone. And the remnant were slain with the sword of him that sat upon the horse, which sword proceedeth out of his mouth. Not a literal sword, is it? And all the fowls were filled with their flesh. So yes, the Christ prophesies and warns of the violence that is coming. So, which Mormon has done that for you, Mormons? Whatever. And so, 58, there it is. Verse 11, and after that cometh the day of my power. Then shall the poor, the lame, and the blind, and the deaf come in unto the marriage of the Lamb, and partake of the supper of the Lord. This is the wedding feast supper, where the Christ establishes Zion and is also supposed to get married to an angel. Hint, hint. On Bones the other day, I was told that it is culturally acceptable for me to have a relationship with somebody half my age plus 8. So 35 years old and up. Oh my God. So does that mean a 75-year-old woman can have a relationship with me? No. I'm still traumatized when Grandma kissed me on my lips. She comes in the door. She sees me standing there, greeting her. And she comes up to me, grabs me by my cheeks, pulls me in, and kisses me straight on my lips. And I'm just going, oh. And then she laughs. Oh, you're still too young. One day you'll like that. No. No. Not from you. Not from you, Grandma. I'm scared. I'm traumatized. And so, yeah. So, to let people know, the church wants to have polygamy back, down to 11-year-old girls, in case you didn't know. Because you haven't been following the living prophet of Jesus, like I have. And so they've been telling you since Benson came out and said no blessings will be withheld from a faithful daughter of Zion. They're talking about polygamy. But for those of you who are going to die before the latter days, they were giving you the false hope that you can not get married and be a Sherry Dew. Holding out for the perfect guy after you're dead. Why do you all fall for this? It is just so sad. That's part of the sexual abuse of this church, women. And so, as a consequences, the singles wards here in Utah just got packed. People just aren't getting married. Women are holding out for the perfect guy. Every frailty of a Mormon man is used against him to give the woman an excuse not to get married to him. It is so abusive in that meat market, both the younger especially, and even still into the older singles ward, as the women are realizing their time is running out, and that's why they end it at 45. Once you turn 45, you got to go into the geriatric singles wards. And it is so sad that the church has set this all up. And so, despite what the church has got planned and the horrible abominations that nobody is going to want when it's implemented, and you will have no choice because your agency is gone. If you want to live, you have to be put into bondage. In Zion, you are free. You can't deny science. I'm so sorry, no astrotheology, no other psychology, no falsehoods. If you're coming into Zion thinking you're going to promote those, you're out. I'm telling you right now, science. If you don't know it, you will be taught how to use science. And so there will be a grace period for you. Depending on how you're going to contribute to the storehouse. There is no monetary system of economy. And so all of the excuses that women have for not getting into a relationship and having babies, gone. You get everything you need, everything you want in Zion, so that you are now free to choose the one you love. And so yes, you'll need to be taught sex ed, so that you will understand before going into a relationship. And so yes, there's going to be some grandparenting out, because the first generation of Zionists are the broken, damaged ones. And so the future generations will be raised up without the abuses of the world, without the deceptions and lies of the world, with all the falsehoods of psychology, religion, and this will actually be the case, that if you are a woman and you don't have a husband, you won't be forced into a polygamous marriage. In vitro fertilization will be available. Because polygamy, I can't see how it would work. I've watched Big Love. There's just too much temptation for the human evils of jealousy, greed, selfishness, pettiness, judgmentalness, bickering, complaining, and we can't have that in Zion. And so I can't justify allowing polygamy. It cannot happen. We have to make sure that people love each other, giving other people agency and allowing them to receive agency from others. And polygamy presents a potential for denying agency. And so to prevent that, in vitro fertilization, so that a woman can likewise have children and raise them up in Zion. It's just without a husband. But if there are way more women than men, you kind of have to do that. Because I can't see how polygamy could work. You'd have your first wife that is chosen by each other, and then you have other women, and I can't see it working. Human nature is going to kick in. Even in relationships, trying to get to understand each other. You're not sure if you can trust the other person, and it takes time to be together and learn how each other works and thinks and functions and all that. It takes time. And so that throw in other wives into the mix, I can't see that happening. And so yes, single mothers will be allowed and be taken care of in that particular case. They are given an exemption. But to refuse to get married, refuse to help build Zion, you're out. Go back into the world among the ash, if that's what you want, because you don't want to live in Zion. Zion is for people who want to give agency and receive agency from others. If you come in to try to destroy that, you are the enemy. You can't stay in Zion. There was no monetary system of economy in Zion, purposely so that couples don't have that stress to make their minds up for them. You know, with Hodges and Angela in the show on Bones, and now with Brennan and Booth. Yeah, they're trying to figure out how to live together. All of that is not necessary in Zion. They're letting money determine their lives. And this is what has happened in our society. People are not getting married and having families, or not having so many kids that normally they would want because of finances. In Zion, all of that is gone. If you have an 8-cow woman who wants to have 8 cows, you can have it. There is nothing holding you back in Zion. And so, as I've also told you, Zion is the fulfillment of everything. The marriage ritual, the temple rituals, the prophecies, all of that is fulfilled with Zion. And so what you currently have been in bondage to will be gone. You are free to live the life you want to live. And so for marriage, if you want to have a ceremony, great. If you want your mom to do it, great. If you want parents to do it, great. If you don't want anybody to do it, if you just want to get together and have a life, great. You, by choosing each other, you're married because you're in Zion. You have become like Christ, being a joint heir of Christ. And so all you have to do is pair up, and you're sealed. But if you want a ceremony, you can have a ceremony. But your conception is the binding. The wrapping of the cloth around your hands in the Jewish ceremony. Yeah. That's it. You're good. Congratulations. Mazel tov. Just you need to let we'll call it command center, know, so that you can be given an inheritance, i.e. a home in Zion, in the city of Zion. And then you'll be sat down and discuss with an architect and somebody in charge of giving you the inheritance lot, so that you tell them what you need in a home. And as a new starter family, I you can have it set up for the building of your family, depending on what you want. And so, yeah, you tell them, yeah, we want a playground for their kids. We would like a den for daddy, and a man cave, as well as a tree house for labs. You had to see the show. Whatever you want, you just tell them, and you get it. But I don't see how that can happen. I don't. Because when the whole world is destroyed, the economies are destroyed, and money becomes worthless. And so we'd have to actually manufacture everything to build Zion with. And so the transfer of funds kind of seems moot at that point. And so I'm not sure how it's going to happen yet. So I don't know. We'd have to have people that know how to do the particular building and supplying of the basic necessities and other wants to the storehouse, and use robotic technology and automation to avoid hard labor and sweatshop labor. Get rid of that. But you get people who are stuck in that situation, and they create a whole culture, as that also has been on Bones and other shows that I've seen, and in the news as well. In Utah, we have coal mines that have been shut down because of the collapses, the dangerous work environment, specifically of the one guy, but no more. Zion is free from dangerous risks to your life. And so for you to want to go and live your life wanting to commit suicide, what the hell? Yeah, you don't want to be a part of Zion then. So go and kill yourself then. Because obviously you don't want to live and be free to have a life. I have never understood that. Why would you want to do something death-defying to feel alive? I feel alive, and I don't want to kill myself. It never made sense to me. And yet, people do it anyway. So yeah, you don't want to come to Zion, so don't come to Zion thinking it has to, because you're just a clone who has to go along with what everybody else is doing. No, only those who want to come to Zion. If you don't want to come to Zion, stay behind. Now be warned, death is coming for those who don't go to Zion. But death is coming before that too, I guess. So yeah, that's why Desiree's death broke me. Because it was, the final year, and she was shot at the beginning of the latter days, and it broke me. It's so tragic. So, there you have it. That's what we're waiting for. That's why it's overtime. Because the Christ has been here the whole time. Just Mormons don't recognize him. So, yeah, it is a fascinating parable that has multiple layers, but Mormons don't see it because the prophets won't tell them the truth. Alrighty, we're done. So, yeah, I am wanting to retire, get some other stuff done. I'm still being attacked by the Mormon employee who won't let me go. As you can see, he's leaving me alone this morning. I was kind of surprised. He was working late last night during the overtime grave shift, I guess. But, yeah, I'm well aware of the risks of continuing to warn you to try to save your lives, because he wants you dead. He's in Utah County. He wants you dead. He's your fellow Mormon. He pretends to be your friend. He pretends to be one of you. And he wants you dead, because he doesn't want you to hear my videos trying to save your life. He's trying to murder you by shutting me up. That's what nobody seems to get and understand. I just want to cry. So, man, now I gotta figure out a picture for this. Everything's been transferred. Crap.